Long time no see.
Hello.
Oh, there's a K-pop song that goes like that that I really want. Doom
Uh,
da 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 doom da da dee da.
oh, I was ugly crying like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What episode? Well, I wouldn't know because
Um,
I don't watch the show,
I know, but it's
but
this
still, yeah.
episode where Andrew DeLuca dies. He's one of the doctors on the show. He was a resident, and the whole reason he died was because he followed this woman who is a human trafficker. Um, the first time she told everybody about it, because he has mania, nobody really believed him and thought he was just going crazy. But then the
Mhm.
second time, after that whole incident, they are like, "Oh, what if he was right all along?" And they find out that it's a possibility that he was telling the truth all along. So this time, he decided to follow her out of the hospital with his sister next to him. The following and following, I guess the woman found out somehow because she'd seen his face before. She calls someone up, and one of her accomplices stabs him in the stomach to try to get off her track. In the end, they ended up arresting her and the guy that stabbed him, but then he ended up passing away. And it was the saddest thing. I might end up tearing up. Meredith is in a coma right now because of COVID. And this is a COVID episode. So
Tell
she's
me you're behind.
huh?
Are you behind or are you up to date?
Oh no, I'm up to date. I'm just rewatching it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going through all the emotions again. And so Meredith is on the beach. She's with DeLuca next to him. And then like further away, Andrew's mom shows up. And she passed away when he was little. So it's even sadder because you see him walk towards his mom and goes with his mom across the beach and disappears, which tells you that he's dying, that he's dead pretty much. So oh
I know my face is judging you, but I'm not judging you because I did not finish my report yesterday because I found out by accident that there's a sequel to this music video that I like 12 years ago.
ah
So I had to watch it, and then after watching it, I had to Google it, and after Googling, I had to watch it again, and then I had to wait for Andres to wake up so that we can talk up, not to wake up, for Andres to get home so that he can watch it so that we can talk about it. So
uh-huh.
I didn't finish my report.
Oh god.
You know,
Yeah, but
balance.
this episode that I just finished before I got on you was them doing like a memorial for him since, it was COVID times, they couldn't exactly do a funeral for him. So they did like this memorial where everybody said something and then they showed his video from when he interviewed to match with them in their residency and I'm just like ah, Grace is always going to fuck with my emotions no matter how many times I watch it.
I couldn't get into it. I couldn't. It's too long. It's too tragic. So I'm very good about when I'm reading something, turning off reality.
Hmm.
Like it's a book. It's okay. Like we can turn off reality for a bit, or it's a
Uh-huh.
show. I can turn off. I'm very good. I'm not one of those people. This wouldn't happen. It's so illogical. How can that be? Blah, 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 blah. But Grace, I feel like I'm reading an epic fanfic written by a 12-year-old. And I know that can be insulting for some, but I'm just saying that's the reason I can't. It's like everything happens. Everything happens. They've had bus incidents, airplane incidents, COVID, bomb threats, human traffickers. Everything happens at this hospital. Everything.
Well, the human trafficking technically didn't happen in the hospital, but the patient, the little girl was a patient there, and that's how they found out about it. But yeah, so
But
somehow, some way,
the
they always
woman
end up in the
went to the
hospital.
hospital. But the woman went to the hospital.
Yeah, she went to the
So
hospital the second time, and the reason why DeLuca saw her is because the guy who was trying to who kidnapped these girls and was trying to keep them um out of
kidnapped them,
people's
but
like
took them to the
radar, he
hospital.
ended up in the hospital. What?
He ended up in the hospital.
He
Okay.
ended up in the hospital because the girls that he kidnapped set fire to his house in order for the people from Station 9. It's intertwined with Station 19. So the people from Station 19 saw the smoke and was able to rescue the girls. But then it became a whole racism thing because the guy who kidnapped the girls is white. The girls are black. The police officers that came on the scene are white, and some of the firefighters are black. So they took it as they were obstructing justice, especially when the mom, who is black, freaked out and told them, I found my daughter here because of her Fitbit, and this man is trying to kidnap my girls, or blah blah blah. Because of, I guess, the way she reacting, which, given your kid has been kidnapped, you're gonna be irrational. She didn't hit nobody or anything, but they took that as an opportunity of her being aggressive and arrested her, even though she didn't do anything. And then two of the firefighters got involved who are black, and so they took it as obstructing justice towards the mother and aggression. So they arrested them as well, and it's like,
you see. I think if it were shorter, I probably could get into it because I tend to, like I said, I like turning out of reality sometimes. Like I'm okay with it. I was watching this. I canceled Peacock I have a funny story about me mispronouncing things for later that's a little ABA related. So
okay.
I canceled Peacock recently.
Okay.
But when I had Peacock, I was watching this show about this woman who was kidnapped as a teenager by Sir, and he kept her and he like forced her to read these books and have fancy dinners with him and all of this. And oh, we're a family. And when she said she was lonely, he kidnapped another girl to keep her company.
Oh shit.
And because, her mom had died, her dad was an alcoholic, nobody was looking for her because they thought she was a runaway. So she and the little
Wow.
girl escaped. So now the little girl is studying to be a lawyer, and she has this company that finds people the police won't look for.
But
They're already adults.
they're already adults and they went to college, high school, and everything.
Yeah, they're
Even with the
adults.
kidnapper in the
The,
kidnapper's possession.
no, I'm telling you, they escaped the kidnapper.
Oh, they escaped. Okay, okay, okay.
They escape him, but they never catch him. So
Wow.
then they grow up. The little girl is studying to be a lawyer, and the older one opened this company where she finds people the police won't look for.
Okay.
And the plot twist is that she found her kidnapper and has him trapped in her basement, like
Oh
he had her
shit.
trapped. She's on a case that she can't figure out or solve. Um, she goes downstairs and has the kidnapper help her by she has him help her by him telling her what he would do.
What the fuck?
It's really
So
good.
it's
I
kind
don't
of like
remember
she
the name.
uses him to try to get into the kidnapper's head.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
What
what she
the
does.
fuck?
That's what she
What
does.
show is
And no,
this?
I don't remember the name, but it was on Peacock.
Let's see.
Find out if there's another season because I'll watch it. But I don't want to pay for Peacock again.
Kidnapper. Show where woman kidnaps or kidnap her. Oh wait. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now give me the name. Found?
Found.
Okay.
It's really good. So everybody that works for her has had something like there's this lady that can pick up a bunch of details. She's basically a lie detector. And her son was taken from her at a bus stop. So every night she goes to the bus stop and sleeps in the bus stop. Well, doesn't sleep because she's hoping she'll see her son again. And she's passing out flyers. Then there's the girl that was kidnapped with her, who's now a lawyer. Then there's this super rich kid, billionaire, who won't leave the house. But he's super techy and he has all the money. So he's helping basically fund Found. And then there's this guy that I don't really understand what's going on, but he's got anger issues. I don't think they got into his backstory, but I think his backstory has I don't know. I don't
Do you
know.
have a premium
But
subscription with Hulu?
no.
Oh, because they also have it on
Right now,
NBC, but I don't have the NBC
yeah.
app.
I have YouTube TV, so I'm hoping if season 2 comes out, I can watch it on YouTube TV.
YouTube TV is premium subscription only.
No, but that's to watch the season that already passed, right? To watch season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm hoping that when season 2 comes out and it's on regular TV, I can watch it because you can record shows on YouTube TV if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't really use YouTube TV. I just have it for my mother, not
I don't
regular
have it.
YouTube. YouTube TV, it's like cable. So it has like the HGTVs and all of that, the golf channel for grandma and mom. That's the reason we have cable.
We don't watch cable, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about that.
Mom and grandma watch the golf channel. It's a must.
Found type TV show
I
filter.
haven't heard it. So
How many episodes is it? 13?
probably. I think I saw all the episodes because I think I canceled Peacock once I finished that show. Another show I was watching on Peacock that I liked, which is an old show. It's Grimm. I don't know if
Grim?
you'll like that one. Grimm.
Sounds
I think
familiar.
it's with two M's. So he can see all the creatures from fairy tales.
I think I might have heard of that one, but wasn't interested in watching it.
So I liked it, but near the end, I'd lost interest. Like it got too convoluted. Like it
Ah.
got too X-Men. So it was really cool. It was like yeah, like he saw the fairy tales and gave it a twist, and there's this thing and there's this da 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 da. But then next thing you know, his ex-girlfriend basically becomes an X-Men. And there's this whole secret organization, and they're trying to take over the world. And it just
Mm,
yeah,
okay.
I stopped. I
See,
was
if you
literally
were
like four or five episodes from the end of the show. And I was like, you know what? The previous season before this one was the end. And I'm happy because he's with baby mama, and all is good. I'm done.
see, if you were into gore, I would have suggested The Boys.
Yeah, everybody suggests the boys.
So good,
Yeah.
but it's
It's
very
not that
gory.
I'm not it's not that I'm not into gore because I do watch some gory things. It just has to be make sense. Like if it's gore, just for you to go, ah, I can't. Because like I watched
There is a story if that's what you're trying to get out
no,
of a show.
no. It's not just a story. So for example, I watched Game of Thrones.
Bye bye.
The cat.
You're
I watched Game of Thrones and
shitty
I had
ending.
no issue with the red wedding or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I was okay with that. But for example, what was the show, Papa, that Ethan loved
Game
that
of
I
Thrones had
bought?
a shitty season 8 ending. It should have ended
Huh?
with when they killed the Night King and that's it. But after that, it
I
just had a
didn't
really
finish
shitty
it.
ending.
I
Oh,
didn't
I'm sorry.
finish it. No, it's okay. I knew it has a little shitty ending, but when it came out, Andres was still young, and I would only watch it when he wasn't home. So then the red
Okay.
wedding happened, and then something happened, and he was just around all the time. I think I started my master's maybe, or I was ending my
Okay.
master's. One of the two. I don't know. You know me in years.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the two was happening, so I didn't have time to watch it, so I stopped watching. So I never watched past the red wedding because I think the
Ah.
red wedding was the end of a season, and by the time the new season started, my life was too hectic to watch, which is another reason I don't like watching shows with a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
But Andrés, Leonardo, el show que le gustaba al Ethan, que yo pensé que te gustaba a ti, pero que me dijiste que no lo ves, The Walking Dead.
I stopped at season 8.
I stopped when this guy's teeth were destroyed. I think they put I don't remember exactly, but I think that they like put this guy with his mouth open against the sidewalk like this, and then someone hit him on top of the head or something like that, something gory like that. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not watching this shit. And I stopped watching it. So I know
I
I
don't
say
remember that one.
I don't know. Maybe it was that show, maybe it was a different show. I just and I love zombies. I really do like zombies, but just something it's I don't know how to explain it because like all the vampire shows, I love Bram Stoker's. I like the one with Bon Jovi, Vampire Los Muertos. I love the.
Vampire Diaries.
I haven't finished the Vampire Diaries, but I like it. I like it. I don't have anything against it.
I
I
haven't
prefer
watched
it
it.
to Twilight. Um, there's a very famous vampire franchise that I really like. It's vampires
Interview
and
with a
werewolves, and
Vampire?
it's
Oh
like,
no, that's a movie.
oh, I love it. Yes, I love Interview with a Vampire.
Haven't
And
seen
there's
it.
also a show. I started watching the show. You haven't seen Interview with a Vampire?
Nope.
When you visit me, I'm gonna sit you and Andres to watch Interview with a Vampire because Andres
Oh
hasn't
god.
watched it either. And I think it's just ludicrous. I read the book too. What's the name? It's not undead. It
A
has
show with
werewolves and
vampires
it has
and
vampire. No, it's not a show, it's a movie.
with vampire and werewolves, the only thing I know is Twilight.
No, the with vampires and werewolves. Underworld.
Oh, I've never seen Underworld.
Oh, it's so good.
I think Ernesto
It's
wanted me to
so
watch it. We just
good.
haven't gotten around to it.
I sometimes just watch it to watch. Like I'll go and watch it. I like like just to watch little pieces because I like it, not to watch the whole thing. Does that
I
make
might
sense
have
when I
done
say I
that.
watch it to
Yeah,
watch?
I might have done that with Resident Evil movies.
Yeah. I watched the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I also liked it,
Mm,
but I love the underworld. So it's not gore, it's how gore is presented. If that makes any sense.
gotcha. I mean, in the first episode of The Boys, you already see gore. Have you seen the trailer?
No, it's just it. I've never been very attracted to it. I might give it a try. I think Andres, Nene, are you gonna watch The Boys? Andres, why is it probably not for you? He's also just not interested in it. So I don't know what it is. I don't
Huh.
know what it is. But if you watch Interview with the Vampires or Underworld, I'll give it a try.
Okay, it's a deal.
Okay. There was another vampire movie I really liked. But yeah, I like all that stuff. I like zombies. I prefer vampires to zombies though, because zombies tend to be gross.
Okay, so Underworld, the first one is 2 hours long. So in order for this to be fair, yep, in order for this to be fair, and I already know you know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going, but I'm gonna end up watching 2 episodes, aren't I?
I think they're like 40 minutes each. So, yeah. No, you wouldn't even have to watch 4 episodes in order for that to be fair.
What do you mean? 4, 8, 12, 16. That's 160 minutes.
If you watch
I
two
gotta do math.
episodes, hold up, hold up.
I'm doing math. I'm doing math. You know I
Episodes.
can't do math. That's that's 2 hours and a half, 4 episodes. The Boys. My friend wants me to watch it too.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm going to Prime right now because it's on Prime, and I'm gonna see how long these episodes are.
The first episode is an hour and 3 minutes long, says my child. So they're an hour-long episodes. I just have to watch two.
Okay, then yes, you just have to watch two.
But if I like them and I watch more than two, you gotta watch Interview with a Vampire.
Well, hold up. Underworld is a series. It
But
has
I'm only
Underworld 2.
asking you to watch one.
I know, but
Are
if
you
you continue and you
froze?
like it, am I still frozen?
See, I
What?
don't think I'm gonna like it either. But I've just committed to 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there are
Isn't there?
six. There are 6 Underworld movies. If you end up liking The Boys, then I would have to finish the Underworld series. How am I going to commit to one and then not watch the rest?
I'll be sincere. Some of the last ones where they tried to be fancy with the CGI aren't that good.
Which one? Awakening, Blood Wars.
I think Blood Wars, the last ones.
I had like a blurry image
I think the 2016
of the like DVD covers of those movies.
because I love them. They're so good.
Welcome back. Yeah, I'm ready.
I think that's the sort of stuff I used to watch with my dad. My dad liked that stuff. He loved the sci-fi movies from the channel sci-fi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I
liked
miss
that
those.
stuff. I don't.
I
But
do.
let's just
I miss going to the Sci-Fi Channel and seeing what's there. They had some good ones.
I guess. Did you hear Andres? He says, you're not gonna like The Boys. There's an episode they put a bomb up someone's butt and he blows up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna like that show.
That's not even the worst one.
Yeah,
But I don't know if I want to
like I
ruin
told
it.
you, but it all depends on what the gore is. Because I've seen like you're gonna see in Underworld, they like rip people's arms out and heads and stuff. And I
The
don't have
Boys too.
oh, have you seen Constantine?
Yes, but forever ago, so I barely remember it.
I love that movie.
I think if I remember, I did end up liking it.
That's
I think.
such a good movie. I wish they would make a sequel to it.
No, they didn't make a sequel. Okay.
No, they didn't. I wish. And Keanu Reeves in an interview, I believe he said he would have loved a sequel to it. I
Okay.
love Keanu Reeves too.
He seems nice. Like a very kind-hearted person.
Yeah. Oh, I love Constantine. I also like Devil's Advocate. It's another good movie.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, because you're young and I old.
No. There's a movie that I kept confusing the Devil's Advocate with. Or is this the one I've seen? No, that's not. I keep confusing and it's just the name. It's this movie that I saw, I think while I was in middle school, where it had to do with the Holocaust. But
There goes my dyslexia. Schindler's List.
was it Schindler's List? Let me see. Schindler's List. Yes, that one.
I can see getting them confused. I don't know why. The minute you say it's a movie I saw in middle school, that I confused the name with Devil's Advocate, and I'm like Schindler's List. It just made sense in my head. It has to be. I don't know why.
I don't know why. For sure, I've never seen The Devil's Advocate.
You should watch The Devil's Advocate.
Listen, I already committed to Underworld.
I know. Your husband has watched them?
I don't know. I want to say he saw The Devil's Advocate. I want to say he's seen it, but I'm not 100% sure. And right now he's doing the dishes.
Don't interrupt. That's important work.
Yeah, I'm not interrupting.
Do not distract. Let it be done. Okay. Huh. Lots of movies. Lots of movies. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm not going to try to have you watch the Saw movies.
I'm not
'Cause I know you're
watching
not
that.
gonna like them.
I've already seen one. I've
Which
already seen
one?
one of the very first one.
Mm.
And I was done. I was done. Yeah. I'm trying to, again, this whole thing is, what's the function of my behavior? Why do I find this aversive? Why is some gore okay and some gore not okay? You know, I'm gonna have to analyze the movies I watch to figure out. But I think it
Is it
has
the
to
torture
do with,
aspect?
that's what I think it is. I think it's the torture. I think it's the making you suffer for this, as opposed to
Okay.
I grabbed your arm and it came off.
I don't know what to tell you about The Boys. All I'm going to tell you is you're going to hate Homelander.
Okay. I committed to 2 episodes. Do we need a time frame, or is this as we get done, we get done?
No, we're going to need a time frame because next thing you know, Friendsgiving comes around and we haven't seen either.
Friendsgiving, I hope you guys can come. I hope a lot of people can come.
Baby, come here. Have you seen Devil's Advocate?
Is that the one with Keanu Reeves?
Is
No,
it?
that's constant. Is it Keanu Reeves? I
No,
thought,
where he's a lawyer.
yes, isn't that the crazy one? Not Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise?
I did see Devil's Advocate. Yeah, with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. That was a good
Oh,
one.
it's Keanu Reeves. Yeah,
Oh,
Devil's
yeah,
Advocate is really good.
it is.
I thought it was Tom Cruise for some reason.
No,
That
Keanu
one
Reeves.
and Constantine. Love those movies.
We made a trade-off.
What do you mean?
So she has to watch 2 episodes of The Boys, the first season, and I have to watch Underworld.
Oh, I've always wanted to see Underworld. I've never seen it. That's with the
Yes.
werewolves and the vampires, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love
I've seen
those
like bits
movies.
and pieces of the first one, but I don't know anything.
Because I know you brought it up and you wanted us to see it, so I thought you had seen it already.
Nope.
What was another
It's
one?
Are
so
you
good.
squeamish?
She's not.
It's
It's
a
the
weird
type of
thing.
it's a type of gore thing which we're trying to figure out what it is, and I think it could be like if it's torture, she doesn't like that type of gore.
Okay.
Whereas different where I grab your arm and I rip it off type of shit. But like Saw, she only saw the first one and she couldn't see the rest. So I'm thinking it might be a torture thing.
Okay.
Because
What about like
I'm okay with Game of Thrones. I'm
Okay.
okay with Underworld. I'm okay with Vampires Los Muertos. I was okay with Estigmata with Alyssa Milano. So I'm okay with gore and blood.
Have you seen
I
Interview
was
with a
not okay with the
Vampire?
Human Centipede.
Oh, you said you couldn't?
Hell no, I ain't watching that shit.
I watched all three
what?
for Human Centipede.
Oh, that was a good family movie. It was like a good comedy for the night.
Ah,
Hasn't seen them. In the second one, she was pregnant, and then as she was escaping, she gave birth right there in the car. But because she was full of adrenaline and with fear, she fucking
The baby got
slammed,
stuck under the gas pedal.
and she went and she slammed the baby's face to the gas pedal
Yep.
to get away.
see, that's unnecessary. What's the need? She's already in the car escaping. She's already given birth. She's already gone through all this traumatic shit for absolute no reason than the guy being pure evil. And you throw that in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
What's
recommend
the
watching it.
need for that?
Would
How
you
did you guys
recommend,
feel?
or would you say that
No.
the boys
I'm
had
not
some
watching that.
torture in it? I was gonna say yes, but I wasn't sure.
Not really. Not
Not torture. Actually, no, not torture.
Not on the
Homelander's
level of Saw, but it is.
Homelander's just a bitch, and he'll kill people, but it's more like a quick death kind of thing.
The Boys is more graphical, or like much more graphical than Saw. Like in the level of detail in the gore, where you'll see not just limbs but internal organs, bones that you could make out, like rib cage, spines, mandibles, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that bothers me.
Okay.
What about?
What other gore one?
No, I'm trying to see a seat because if she's gonna watch The Boys, let's say she actually gets into it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and if she
Actually, you should mute it for a second because I don't want to spoil anything.
This is unfair. I don't care about spoilers. I demand spoilers. Ask
Oh, you don't
Andres.
care
I'm
about
always
the
like, what
spoilers?
happens?
Okay, wait, can I
No.
see the baby one?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this one.
Well, do you know what The Boys is about?
Some superheroes that are assholes.
Superheroes gone wrong,
that's-
pretty much.
That's more
Yeah,
than enough.
superheroes
for
that
you
are
to-
assholes.
Uh-huh. So
They're having
There-
a massive orgy.
there's
Superheroes.
this house that just, I think once a year they just have a massive orgy, and there's this
Okay.
one soup that can turn really, really small. So he turns really small and get inside his boyfriend's dick to, like, I guess touch inside it to, make him feel good. But then at one point he sneezes and fucking blows him up because he sneezed and returned to human form.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't think I'd
It
mind
was
that.
great.
Would you?
I don't think I would mind that.
Like gross you out?
No.
No. Okay. So then
It's
you'll be
like,
fine
for
with it.
example, like I said, Human Centipede, Saw,
What about Final Destination?
Martyrs.
Final Destination. I saw one, I think Final Destination, I saw 2 movies of it.
Which one?
And I think I saw the first one. Is the first one the one that has the scene with the trees
The trees.
The
that
first
they're
one's with the
driving
airplanes.
behind the truck?
Oh,
with
the log truck.
Oh, with the
Log
log truck?
truck.
No, that's number 2.
She
Okay, so
would
I
know.
saw 1 and 2.
So you saw the plane and the highway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw 1 and 2. I saw 1 and 2. And then after that, I was over it. But I saw 2 when I was pregnant. And I've had 2 nightmares. In my whole life, I've had 2 nightmares. One of them when I was 12. The second one after watching Final Destination 2. So then I was like, I'm good. I don't need to watch more of this.
The Green Inferno.
Oh, the Green Inferno. Yeah,
No, but
but that
there's-
has to do with cannibalism. Do you do good with cannibalism?
I loved Hannibal.
Well, maybe she could do the Green Inferno.
Hannibal
But I don't
wasn't
think
as
that-
gory as the Green Inferno.
I don't think I've seen
Here's
Hannibal.
the thing. I can do it, and do I want to do it?
That's a whole
Okay.
other story.
That's like so the Hannibal movies, I loved all of them. I love Silence of the Lambs. I loved the
Haven't
one
seen
that
it.
came after that I don't remember the name. I
Hannibal
love
Rising,
the
I
urban
think.
Hannibal Rising, Hannibal, where he's eating the guy's brain while the guy's having a conversation with him. I did not throw up. I had no issues with it. I even like the prequel that's not a prequel, the dragon one, and then
Oh,
the
Red
other
Dragon?
Red Dragon. I've watched them all. I had no issue with the skin suit, nothing like that. But
Okay.
What about
Saw
Martyrs?
which one?
Martyrs?
I don't think I've seen that.
You wouldn't watch it.
I gotta get back to it.
There's at one point at the end of the movie where they skin her alive.
Oh, you're not still. Yeah, no. See, it's when it's unnecessary, I don't. Not saying that everything's necessary, obviously, but when it's unnecessary, like no, like for real in Human Centipede, what was the point of that? The woman already went through hell. Why do you gotta add that?
Oh, for the second one, yeah. The third one was in a prison, and then the first one was just a guy, I guess, discovering. Yeah, the first one is the guy discovering how it's done, and he tested it on dogs until they died. But then these people tried to they go into his house, and then he decided that he was going to try it on them, and then they had to find another person who was compatible with them so they can do the whole centipede thing. It was gross.
What's the point of these movies? Like, who woke up and said, "This is the movie I want to write. This is one I want put out into the world." How do you feel about the Blair Witch Project?
Oh, I couldn't watch it. Like most of it, I don't know what happened because I watched it in the movie theater and I
It
couldn't.
make you nauseous?
No, I
The
don't remember
movement?
the movie.
Why couldn't you watch it? Like,
Pause for a second.
it scared you?
The Blair Witch Project, yeah. Okay, so me and Paranormal, not that
Give
great
me a
together.
second guess on it.
I think if I cut him open and pulled up the sound box, you could sew him back up.
Yes, but I don't have a needle, so don't do it until Titi moves here.
Well, he already has a hole.
Okay. But yes, I can sew it back up together.
So I want to pull it. I want to maybe change the batteries to see if it'll work again.
Okay. I
Did
don't have a
Andres ever
needle.
tell the doctor about his foot? His toe?
He went, oh, you want to see what they pulled out of his toe?
What'd they pull out?
Let me see.
Send you the photo.
Send me the
Is it like
photos so I
Dr.
can send it
Pimple
to her.
Popper's style?
I guess. I don't know. It's not pus or whatever it is that comes out of pimples. They took out a
What did they
chunk
pull
of
out of
nail.
his foot?
Uh, I already told you, but wait for the picture. Where'd you send it? Text?
Here, just send it to your-
Send it through WhatsApp. Well, because otherwise over text I gotta download and transfer over.
Ouch!
That's a
What
piece
is
of
that
nail.
nail?
Yep, that was stuck underneath his skin.
How the ooh. Fuck that. That's why I take care of my ingrown myself. I did the surgery once where they, they put the lidocaine or whatever the fuck inside. Hurt like a bitch.
He didn't flinch. The doctor took a needle this long, right?
Uh-huh.
Sprayed him and went in and out and in
Uh-huh.
and this way and that way
Uh-huh.
and back out and back in,
Uh-huh.
then out, pinched him again, in and out, and he
And they used
didn't
a
flinch.
tourniquet on his big toe, right?
They didn't put a tourniquet.
Oh, they put a tourniquet on mine.
Then after pinching everything, first the little black thing that they put so you can't see, he's so big that the black thing is down here, right? It's at his neck. So he can see everything. And he's just watching. Doesn't even flinch. Then the doctor starts and he's like, ow, 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 stop. It hurts. Stop, stop. It hurts. The doctor's, oh, it still hurts. Yeah. So here comes the needle again. Pinches again, pinches out, pinches again, moves it around, does a little dance out. Then he starts cutting, pulls the thing out, puts this acid that's going to burn the nail, puts inside, moving like in his toe. And you can see this thing moving there. And he's spreading it with acid. And he's like, chill. He's like, nothing. He's like, I think I'm going to skip work today. I'll go tomorrow, though. and that's it. And he hasn't complained. He's completely okay. His toe was gross. It was swollen red, and he did not complain. He went because I forced him.
He's a trooper.
I don't know. I think his something with his pain
I would have been bitching.
thing.
I did
His pain
bitch.
thing, I don't think works. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
bitched
it's gonna
when they
hurt,
did
and it
that.
already hurts.
In and out, in and out, in and out. Kept going. Do you feel this? No. So they stuck something under the nail, to like try to get some space. Then they clipped it, took the nail out, and put whatever the fuck in between. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. But you saw the size of him. Look, ven acá, nene. Can you come? I want her to see how big your hands are, so she can get an idea of how big that was.
Put it against her face.
Look.
Oh shit.
So you saw how much of his hand that took over. And look, and my hands are big. My hands, look, my hands are really big. And he had
When you
all
were
that.
when you were younger, did anyone tell you that if you put your hand against your face, that if it's bigger than your
And
face?
Did they do? Did they do to you the one you can see a city when it rains on your car?
No? What the
Oh,
fuck?
then never mind. Forget about it. When you visit, I'll show you.
You can see a city when it rains?
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust it. I don't trust you. No.
All right. So how's it going work-wise?
Well, I didn't work today. I'm working tomorrow and Friday. And then next week, I start working every day.
Nice. New company or old company or
No,
what company?
same company. New company. I don't know when I'm starting yet, but I'm supposed
Okay.
to have a meeting with the BCBA July 1st to go over some things. Because she did
Okay.
want me to help
Like the assessment.
yeah, with the assessments and I think creating the behavior plan, if I'm correct.
I have to finish a BIP. I got so distracted yesterday doing that.
Oh, what is this pronunciation thing that you said that it was going to be related to ABA?
It's ABA adjacent.
Okay.
So you know how I have a hard time pronouncing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the reason I have a hard time pronouncing stuff, it's not just I can't pronounce stuff, I have dyslexia, and that's how it
I didn't
affects me.
know that.
I thought you knew. I tell
Never.
everybody.
This is the first time you tell me.
Okay, yeah. So I have dyslexia. It's very, very mild. It's not like I didn't even have an IEP, right? But I
Okay.
have dyslexia. So for example, left and right for me are very, very difficult, even though right now I did it right. Did you see me? I said left and right.
Yeah.
I did it right. Like, but the other day I was telling someone, I said, put it to the left. And thankfully the person knows me and she goes, you mean right, right? I said, yes, that. She says, yeah, because you look to the right, but you said left. So I do that. I do that sort of stuff. It doesn't happen anymore. It hasn't happened forever, but like the 3 and the E, the B and the D, um, G and B for some reason, which I think it's really weird. Yeah, G and B. I don't know. And then pronunciation wise, it always has given me trouble. Like when I was little, instead of saying abeja, I would say uh ag- I would say with the G agueja. Or instead of
Agueja?
saying agueja, or I would instead of saying oveja, I would say
Ugeja.
yeah, I would mess it up. No, um, it was the B and the G. So anyway, I'm dyslexic. That shit happens. I do struggle with it. If I'm tired, if I have a headache, if I'm sleepy, it gets worse, especially
Mm,
the left and the right and pronouncing things. I don't know if I said it right, whatever. Like I
pronunciation of
failed
things,
my
yeah.
yeah. I failed my driving test because the guy's like, turn left, and I turned right, and he's like, stop the car, drive back, you failed.
Damn. Just like that.
Yeah. So today we were in session and the the RBT the RBT has certain views which I respect, but I try to avoid and not comment on it. I completely
Mhm.
respect them. I have nothing against it, but I prefer not to talk about it or mention it. And we're there for work, so there's no need to get into controversial topics, right?
Mhm.
So the mom was asking me some questions today about my time on the island, and I was like, "Oh, when she was asking me how I did with the move, like, did I have to buy furniture over there and what?" And I was like, "No, I got really lucky because the owner of the house I rented, of the apartment I rented, his family lives." And I couldn't think about the word in English, but the mom speaks Spanish as well.
Okay.
So I stopped and I said, uh, Palestine? No, dije, Palestina? Así. And the
Okay.
mom says, oh, okay. And the RBT says, it's really funny how you stopped at that certain subject and translated it into a word that means the same in English. And I go, what? She says, no, it's just funny that you try to very, very, something. She used a word, I can't think of it now because of the headache. You very
Subtly?
purposely, no,
Oh,
very
purposely.
purposely stop and said that. What? No, it's because I can't pronounce it in English. And she goes, you can't say Palestinian in English? And I said, now that you said it and I heard you say it, I can, but typically I can't because I have dyslexia and that happens to me with pirámide, tortuga, what's the other word I can't pronounce? There's a few words that I can't pronounce. And she just
Okay.
looked at me and I said, no, I'm serious. I have dyslexia. I don't know left and right. I don't know this. So whenever a word is too similar English to Spanish, I have difficulty pronouncing it. Like, for example, not Portugal, Lisbon. In Spanish is
Lisbon?
Lisboa.
Oh.
Yeah, in Spanish is Lisboa.
Mhm.
And I typically have difficulty with those two because they're very similar but not similar and they're the same thing. And
Mhm.
my brain just has difficulty with that. So I was like, when I left there, I felt really awkward through the whole encounter. And then I
Mhm.
called my mom and I'm like, couldn't this girl just like not call me out on it?
Right?
I feel I feel like she poked at my disability and hasn't been poked at many years. Couldn't she just let
Jesus.
it be as a Spanglish moment?
Right? Because I fucking talk in Spanglish, but I don't get people like saying, "Hey, you didn't pronounce it this way," or it's the same thing. They just fucking leave it alone.
Yeah, because she thought I purposely said that word in Spanish so she couldn't understand it.
I feel like where you moved, they're a lot more blunt than, than over here
I
because
think so.
we don't have
I don't,
over like I haven't experienced meeting a non-binary person here or any of the other genders, I guess. I haven't experienced that yet. Yeah, here you are telling me about no, not now, but like the other
mhm.
person you met that they're non-binary. I'm like, I feel like over there they're a lot more open, a lot more blunt about things.
But we are more of a blue state than where you're at. There's a lot of laws in your state that make it difficult, I think, to be as open.
Hmm. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, like it's hard because I always have to be thinking about what I say and how I say it, and is it gonna be taken like now, like I use they and their a lot, but not for any sort of political reason. I just I don't know. I've gotten used to instead of saying she, her, I say they, them. And
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time people don't have an issue with it. So when texting, I'll text, oh, they said this, or and now I have
Mm-hmm.
a parent that every time I use that, I told you about it. The first time it was warranted, but ever since then, every time I text about someone, because we're looking for a new RBT, I get the
Is
question.
it she or is
She,
it
he,
he?
she, he, she, or they. I, I don't know how much how much I'm gonna leave in here, but now I've got in the habit of being, I don't know. Let me ask them. 90% of the
Right?
time I do know, but at this point, it's become a thing.
My God,
I don't
I
know.
can't.
Let me ask them. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think, you want to keep I you want to keep your political thoughts and all of that outside of the thing. So this weekend we did an outing with a client, and the mom, I was doing parent training, and then we were in Washington. So I asked her if she'd seen the White House, and she's like, no. And she's not from here, she's from another country. And she's like, does the president actually live there? I'm like, yeah, he does. And she's like, oh, it's so sad. He's not okay in his head. He's really, really not doing okay. He really shouldn't be president because he's old, and I think he has dementia. And I have to smile and go, I don't know. But if you guys want to see the White House, all you have to do is, I'm like, pivot, pivot, pivot.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Another parent the other day got an email, and she's like, I just got an email from the school and this is insane. This is incredible. And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, no, because they say that they're an all-inclusive school. So they don't have a problem with people being gay or trans or anything that. And that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. It's not okay with God. And I want to be an ally always, and I try to,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, this is my job and I have to think about the kid. But
Yeah.
I was like, what do I say? So I was like, I don't like commenting on those topics. But look, he's pronouncing the letter blah blah blah.
So you redirected.
I redirect all the time.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you handle that when someone's saying this and you don't really agree? Like, how do you redirect?
I I I I know that by telling her I don't like commenting on those topics, I basically told her I don't agree with you without
Yeah,
saying it. Uh, and then I just redirected to the client, you know. Did you hear him say this? Oh, he just did that. And then I switched the topic. You haven't gotten
that
anything like
works.
that?
No. Nope, 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 nope.
I've had all sort of things like that. Another one I do is sometimes I admit I embarrass parents because um they don't leave. They know we're coming into the house, and they don't leave the stuff that should be in drawers locked up in drawers locked up.
Oh God.
I think I've told you these two stories.
Did I don't know. Did one have a vibrator?
Yeah.
No, you didn't tell me. That was just a guess. I know there was one that had to do with guns.
Well, the gun one was different. The gun one, the dad was refusing to lock the guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to have him sign a paper saying that, the bedroom door would be locked while we were in the house.
Yeah.
And that if anything happened because the guns were not locked, we weren't responsible for it. Um, but so I was a brand new BCBA.
Vibrator story.
I was, it had to be, so COVID hit what, 2020?
2020.
March, right?
I
Okay, I
believe so,
accidentally turned
yeah.
on the TV. Let me turn it on. So it was right around COVID time. And so COVID was 2020. I became a BCBA November 2019. So it was probably March 2020
Mm-hmm.
or so. And I got a case. And first, this house was chaos. It was chaos. And I come in, and so this company that hired me, they had an analyst who got pregnant. And when she got pregnant and with the whole COVID thing, she was doing everyone telehealth. And then just stopped showing up. And
Mm-hmm.
her telehealth was she would leave her camera off, their camera on, and basically walk away. It was bad.
Okay.
It was bad. Um, so when I came on to these cases, it was a mess. Everything was a mess. So this case in particular, I came in and it was like she had 3 kids from her first marriage. He had 3 kids from his first marriage, and they had 4 kids.
Oh
So
shit.
12 kids in that house, right? Varying ages, similar ages. And it was COVID, so nobody was in school. Everybody was there. Uh,
That sounds
the
chaotic and
it was
overwhelming.
chaotic. The dad, one time, a lady was walking her dog near the pond and he could see her through the window and the dog pooped and the lady didn't clean up and he started hitting the glass and yelling at the lady that she was gross. But it was like it was a lot. So I'm there. I'm getting used to a new system because this company used a electronic system that I hadn't used. I
Okay.
arrived, there's the new RBT is there and he's been pairing. So usually I try to go twice on the week that a new RBT starts just to make sure that I provide enough support. So it's my second visit and I'm on the computer looking through things and going off and I'm also trying to figure out. So I'm spending too much time on my computer and he's working with the kiddo and the kiddo's sibling asked the RBT for his computer to do something school related. And the
Mm-hmm.
RBT had allowed it. And I was like, just remember, if your computer gets damaged, you're allowing a kiddo who's not your client to play with it. He's like, no, no, it's okay. He's a good kid. So then,
Fuck that.
then the youngest comes down and he's talking to the oldest who's borrowing the RBT's computer. And he's like, I can't get it to work. Can you put it on? Can you put it on? Because it's not working. So the kiddo is trying to get it. And I'm like typing, right? And then the kiddo tells the RBT, can you help us put it back together? And the RBT taps me with his foot on my leg, right? And I look at him, and the RBT has this face, and he goes like this, with his eyes. He's pointing at the kids. I look up, and the kiddo has a vibrator or a dildo. I don't know which one it was. And it's, how they connect like the top part and the bottom part, and then the battery side is on the bottom and you have the top. So he has the top in one hand and the bottom on the other hand, and he's handing it to the RBT to put it together. And we don't want to touch that for
Oh
obvious
my
reasons.
god.
So I look at the kid and I go, I think mommy should help you with that. And the kid looks at the little brother. Yeah, go ask mommy for help. Gives it to the kid, and the kiddo goes upstairs.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Oh my god. I don't
I
know how
I
you
don't
didn't burst out laughing.
I don't know if this is something from my character that helps me be a BCBA, or if it's something that I developed in my training to become a BCBA.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always think before I react. So many times it looks like I
Not me.
froze. You would have cracked up.
I would have cracked up. I would have looked and been like, Mom,
Well,
you
you
can't
know
need
how
help
we
with
gotta get
something.
s- you know how we gotta get signature to leave?
Uh-huh.
The mom sent the little kid downstairs and the little kid's like, my mom has a migraine. She says if I can take your phone up to her. I'm like, yeah, take my phone up to her for her to sign. I would have had a migraine if I were her too. Hell, I would have changed companies.
Oh my god.
Another time, came to the client's house, walked in, and the RBT looks at me and she goes, there is a adult toy in the bathroom next to the sink. I go, what? There's an adult toy that goes in the back in the bathroom next to the sink, and he almost touched it twice already. I just closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and then knocked on mom's bedroom door. And I go, "You left something at the bathroom that I think you want to hide," and went back to the kid's room.
Oh my God.
What else am I going to do?
There's nothing you can do. You can't leave it there. You're obviously not going to touch it.
I'm not going to touch it. The kid keeps wanting to grab it because he thinks it's a toy.
I can't. I'm done. I'd be done. Cause fuck that shit.
So that's when, after those two, my go-to thing is when stuff like that happens. I was going to tell you when shit. Why didn't I just say when shit like that happens, embarrass the parents? It's not going to happen again. If you play it off, try to solve it for them, act like you didn't see it, pretend it didn't happen, it's going to keep happening. Freaking embarrass them over it won't happen again.
I don't
They'll
remember
be
what it
way
was,
more
but I know I
careful.
always put on a face whenever I have to tell a parent something, and it's usually the
That is your.
so there's something in the bathroom. There's feces in the bathroom. Like I always put on a face. So
But
kind of
see,
like
I'm okay with feces in the bathroom.
no, I don't know if it was that, but that was an example.
Uh-huh.
But I don't remember, and I can't remember what client this was. There was something that happened, and then so something happened, but I always make the face first. I don't know if that's like my embarrassed face or is that I don't know how to tell you this, but this is what's going on.
Then we worked at a daycare in Miami. I hated going to this daycare. I hated going to this daycare. First, because of COVID, they didn't want me inside the daycare. So in order to do supervision, we had to meet outside in the yard. Supervision took, I used to supervise this kiddo 10 a.m. to noon outside in Florida around July.
Damn.
It was torture for the kid. It was torture for me. It
And there
was
was
torture
no
for the other
shade or
team.
anything.
There was shade, but you're in Florida. Shade don't matter.
Yeah. The humidity especially. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It was horrible. And I already disliked going to this. And then we couldn't use their Wi-Fi. There was poor signal there. I had nowhere to charge my computer. It was just overall
Shitty experience.
not a fun place to be. And then the teachers would yell at kids. It was just not a fun experience. Then all daycares in Miami. I'm sure it sounded like a daycare you've been to. Yeah, all daycares.
Yeah.
There was only one daycare I liked that I ever worked in Florida. Only one. Other than that, I always hated going to daycares. I've been very reluctant to go to daycares here where I'm at now because I don't know if I'm going to see the same I saw over there or not. But
I've been to one daycare here, and honestly, I felt like I liked it. They wouldn't really yell at the kids, but you know how when someone talks, it kind of projects, but it's not
Mhm,
really yelling. And
mhm.
it was more like, no, ma'am, you know that we're supposed to be sitting over here. And what did we say about putting our hands on other people? We don't appreciate that here. Like it was that kind of talk versus,
No.
what do you think they're doing? Go to timeout. Da, 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 da. Back
This
in.
daycare was, vas a crecer, a ser un criminal. La policía te va a llevar a la cárcel porque eres malo.
I hate when parents do.
Well, this wasn't parent, this was daycare. I've never had a
No,
parent
I
do that.
no,
It's
I've
only,
seen I've seen videos and I've seen in person where if the kid is misbehaving, they will be like, "Oh, you see that man over there? If you keep acting like
uh-huh.
this, he's gonna take you." And I'm just like, "Why? Why would you do that?"
Right, exactly.
And then you do that for police officers too. You want that kid to be scared of police officers instead of seeing them as a safe person or a safe place. Like
Mm-hmm.
like parents don't think about the effects that that's gonna have.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I know. Yeah, well, at this daycare, the reason I brought it up was because from I got a phone call from the mom, and she's like, the daycare's owner called, and she's really upset because the RBT asked to use the bathroom, and she clogged the toilet, and she didn't tell anybody she had clogged the toilet. And they know it was her.
oh my
So the mom's like, I feel uncomfortable talking to her, but can you please talk to her?
god! About what?
So
Not clogging the or not using the bathroom? Oh my god!
I
This
had
is
to
why
tell
I
the
make sure to
RBT.
take a shit in my own house before going to any caregiver's
Oh
homes.
wait, this was apparently it was toilet paper, so I just told the RBT, hey, the thing is that thankfully there was a barrier, language barrier, because the RBT didn't speak Spanish and everybody at the
Mm-hmm.
daycare spoke only Spanish. So I was like, hey, by the way, they're asking that you don't throw toilet paper in the toilet because it clogs, and that's how I ran it. Then, like, I don't know, a couple weeks later, I get a phone call from the owner of the daycare.
Oh my
And
god!
this lady is Miami pissed off. I'm like, she's like, she went number 2 and clogged it and didn't tell us, and it came out everywhere, and it was on the floor, and I have little kids, and oh, thank God,
my god!
thank God that RBT had given her notice and was leaving the case because she was moving, and she was only there for a couple of days, because that is not a conversation I am prepared, even to this day, to have with anyone.
No, I think you can have the conversation with me.
Well, with you, yeah, but I think you would tell them, you would come out and be like, so I blew up your toilet and I need something to fix it.
I would say, do you guys have a plunger? Because I just let one rip and that shit's clogged. So
Yeah,
either you give
see?
me a
So
plunger, it's gonna stay like that.
so I wouldn't need to have that conversation with you.
That's true. I told Ernesto the story about
Uh-huh.
the taking a shit and clogging it, and how
Uh-huh.
you would, I don't, that you don't think that you'll ever now or ever be prepared to have that conversation with someone. And he brought up a good point. He said, you guys are in a field who teach your clients to shit and piss, and there are clients who masturbate and stuff like that, and that is what you're concerned about. Like talking to an
Well,
RBT.
I'm not talking to a client.
Soma,
Yes, amor.
what are we gonna eat then?
What do you want to eat? I got a raise. I just got the
Nice.
email. So I'm not gonna cook dinner because I have a headache. I was gonna cook dinner because I was saving money, but I got a
But now you got a
raise.
raise.
So I could go buy dinner instead of cooking.
Nice. I see your migraine went away. I see the biggest smile on your face right now.
Well, I still have a migraine, but it's minimizing. So I think
Okay.
I'm having one of those migraines that I get that last weeks, and I haven't had one
That
in
last
2 years.
weeks.
Yeah. Just because it started, I want to say I had a migraine Thursday last week,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like today, where it goes down, it gets intense, it goes down, it gets intense. Thank you.
Fuck that.
And then Friday, I had a headache, but not a migraine. Saturday, I slept practically all day. Sunday, I went to the zoo, and after the zoo, I had a headache, but I said I thought it was because I was at the zoo. Yesterday, I had a headache, and today I have a migraine. So it might be just one episode that I'm having.
Jesus.
Yeah,
No joda.
yeah. And
But
I think it's related to the weather. All right, Gato. Trying to stay on topic. Tell me, how do you feel the training you've received as an RBT accruing hours to become a BCBA is going when it comes to these difficult situations?
So I can tell you that there is some positive and some negative to it. When I was in my old region, um, didn't really understand how the accruing of the hours went because I didn't really have support in that aspect. It wasn't until I moved to a different region is when the training coordinator explained to me how to accrue it, explained to me the difference between concentrated and non-concentrated, which I could have fucking finished my hours a long time ago, but no, I didn't know that you could do a concentrated path.
Now, I want to pause. I want to pause. Did you read the handbook before switching regions?
I did, but I didn't understand that whole 1.33 thing. And I was like, 1.33, what do you mean the 1.33 for concentrate? I don't understand it. And anybody I asked wouldn't really give me a straightforward answer back then. So then I asked here, and then she explained, you just get your hours at the end of the month and you multiply it by 1.33 so you can have more hours than what you would have had if you would have done just a supervised versus non concentrated. So I was like, okay. I did it 1 month and I was like, wow, it gave me more hours. I need to do this now. I haven't had good supervisors up here. Maybe one good supervisor, and then that one didn't really last long because she went on leave. So she went on leave, and then after that, like more people started leaving, and I'm just like, okay, you have been giving me hours for me to do the indirect. I've been trying to do the hours during the indirect hours during my sessions, so that I got hours there, and then I stopped working for about 3 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Oh wow, it's been 2 weeks. Huh? It's felt like a month I haven't been working. But yeah,
But
the
how do you
training.
feel like when you go into a house and you have an RBT whose religion doesn't match the family's, or you have an RBT that has a different sexual orientation or a different pronoun,
I
or the
can't tell you
family?
because I haven't experienced that yet. Yesterday was my first time supervising an RBT because it was our first time in the home, and I didn't have to encounter anything like that. Mom was amazing. She was very open with us. When I showed her the protocol binder, she was very open about the goals that we have for the kid, the goals that we have for the parent. RBT was very easygoing. So far, I haven't encountered a parent who
You
really
had a
has different
very
views.
you had a very difficult parent that was pushing very hard for punishment.
Oh, well, yeah, that one, ooh, that's part of the whole I didn't get enough
Yeah.
training
And
or a good
yeah.
supervisor because every time I brought it up, I don't know if the BCBA looked at the previous BCBA's notes. According to the parent, the RBT was possibly a student analyst and was left without a BCBA for months. So she was she was the case manager for that case. And so she wasn't getting supervised according to her because she would supervise herself. Mind you, this is word of a caregiver, so I don't know what was going on. And then when this BCBA finally came on the case, anytime that she would schedule supervision, she would just not show up for the supervision. So there was no one really to tell this parent no. And then I come in trying to put that like we can't use punishment and I'm not going to yell at your child, and it's just, oh, well then you're not going to get anywhere with my kid if you're not going to be strict with them, which you can be stern or use a stern voice without having to yell at someone.
Yeah.
But because the child is so used to the caregiver yelling, hating the hand if they did something wrong, I wasn't okay with that, and I wasn't going to do that no matter how many times the caregiver said so. So when that
If you
BCBA,
would have, if you would have been, sorry to cut you off, but I know we both are a little gotta go and we've got other stuff to touch base on.
Mhm.
Or I don't know if you have to go, but I know we have other stuff to touch base on. If you would be the analyst on that case, based on your experience as an RBT and what you saw happen with your BCBAs, and even the advice you got from your friends who've become BCBAs, how would you how would you react now? Like, how do you think you would take that situation as a BCBA?
as a BCBA, if I was coming new, I would tell them, well, I don't know what the other BCBA did. I'm going to have to look at the data and all the interventions that was done, but we would have to try the reinforcement procedures first before we can go on to what you call treatment, because really it's punishment. You're hitting your kid. I'm not going to touch your kid. You're yelling at your kid. I'm not going to yell at your kid. I don't care if you say that that works. That's what works for you, but I can't do that. That's not ethical in my eyes, nor is it to the board, because I'm not going to cause harm to your child. If the parent still continues like, no, I don't want to try any reinforcers, I want to go straight to punishment, I'm sorry, but then we need to find another BCBA that's suited for you, because I don't feel right going into punishment when I haven't tried anything else that could possibly work.
It's awesome. And you
And
feel
also,
confident?
yeah, because
You
I even,
sound confident, which I like.
because I'm starting to get into that analyst mentality, especially with yesterday's supervision, I was able to introduce myself, which, you know me, I got anxiety. So whenever I'm meeting a parent new, I'm always like sounding nervous. But I went in there confident, introduced myself, introduced the protocol binder without running out of breath, and then speaking to the RBT, explaining to her the goals that we're going to be doing and the protocol for each goal. So I'm already getting into that mentality, and I kind of want to finish my hours quicker.
All right. That's good. I'm glad. I know you've had a difficult time with supervisors, and I'm hoping that will change. I have good hopes for your future supervisor.
Well, this one
And
apparently has been a supervisor since 2000, or not supervisor, as a BCBA since 2012, I believe. So this one has a lot of experience versus the ones I've had where they recently became a BCBA. So they themselves needed some time to learn and be trained by others. But this one, I'm hoping she's good. I've
and
heard good
it's
things.
terrifying to be a BCBA and all of a sudden you're responsible for this case. And it's like, you should know what to do. And you're like, let me ask my supervisor because I don't know.
Yep.
I was lucky. I was lucky that my supervisors were a-okay with me calling them and being like, I got a new case. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do.
Yep.
You know,
I might
it
do that to
did.
you.
I'd do it. I'm a-okay with it. I would love it. Um, I it took me a minute to be able to say, I'm sorry, I'm not the right fit. You need a different BCBA. Uh, Even though my supervisor used to tell me, if they're so if they're not following the treatment plan, if
Mhm.
you're coming in here, you're getting beat up, and then you leave and they continue doing what you asked them not to do, move on.
Yep.
Move on. And it sounds horrible because it's like you're leaving this child, but then I ended up in the hospital with a bad back because this kiddo, grandpa was teaching him how to box. The RBT would not follow the treatment plan. Grandma would not follow the treatment plan. When I asked the RBT to be removed, grandma completely refused. The owner of the company didn't back me up. And
Mm.
I ended up with a hurt back. I ended up spending a weekend in my bed without even being able to get up to go to the bathroom, crying when I had to
Oh
get
my
up to the
God.
bathroom. And I literally had to call and say, I'm sorry. I can't go back to the case. Find someone else because I'm not
It's
gonna,
dangerous.
yeah. It is, and then like another case I had, same thing. We weren't allowed in the house. We were having session in the backyard, and there were rats. The minute they told me session had to be in the backyard, I should have said, I'm sorry. I'm not. It's Florida. It's
Mm-hmm.
July. It's over 90 degrees with 100% humidity or 80% humidity. And being outside, it's not healthy for the kids, not healthy for me. And then on top of that, I remember my last day at the house, mom was super sweet and very nice. And I looked at mom and I said, I've seen 4 rats. I am so sorry. I'm not coming back. And I remember for me to leave the house, I had to wait for a rat to run in front of the gate
Oh
so
no.
that I can open the gate to get into my car.
I've had a rat situation. My first case ever as a brand spanking new RBT. And mind you, it's brand spanking new, meaning I have no knowledge on what ABA is. All I did was take a 20-hour intro course. So I did something. My BCBA wasn't that great, but one day in session, I see a little mouse. No, it's a rat. A little rat just run by inside the house. And I was like, was that a rat? And the other RBT though was there, or BA, because he was a BA. He's like, no, you didn't see a rat. I know what my eyes saw. There's a rat that just ran by. It was a little one, but still, it ran by. And then as days go by, I see that they have mouse traps. And one of the mouse fell in the trap. And this guy is grabbing the trap, trying to free the mouse off of it. I was like, oh. See, I was brand spanking new, so I didn't know if I could say, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't come back. I even found a cockroach this big
The cockroaches are
inside the
okay.
bathroom while I was using it.
Florida cockroaches, it's kind of like, I'm sorry. I'm more afraid of the little ones than the big ones when it comes to Florida because the palmetto bugs, it's like, it's everybody's pet. But the little ones, ugh. But I now that's a hard boundary with me. Uh, and I know they assigned me a case here recently, and when I went, I saw a rat trap, and I immediately called and I said, I'm gonna go, but if I see a rat or a mouse, I'm not coming back. That's one thing. I'm sorry. My mom has a huge phobia. My mom is dangerous when it comes to this because she lets go of the steering wheel, she closes her eyes, she
Oh
passes out.
shit.
So I think my fright comes more from like pairing with hers. Like I've been
That's me
around it
with
so much
cockroaches
that
because of
it's,
my mom.
yeah, so it's created. So I'm not as bad as my mom. Whereas that time with the client, I was able to finish session and act like nothing happened and walk out the door without him realizing that I am terrified. Uh, but that's a hard boundary. Like I'm not willing. Anybody that even thinks that they can force me to go into a house where there's rodents, I'm putting my notice. I quit. And I have clients now that I say they will have to pry them out of my dead hands for me to drop them because I adore them and they're making so much progress and the families are wonderful. But if the company I currently work with, if I were to call them and say, I saw a mouse, I'm very sorry, I don't go back. And they're like, no, you have to go back. That would be my last day working. I'm unwilling,
No,
completely
for me it's
unwilling.
roaches. But little roaches, not a problem. Big motherfuckers, the palmetto
But
ones, no.
little roaches are the dirty ones and are the ones that there means there's an infestation. And then that little roach goes into your book bag, leaves eggs, and guess what you bring home?
No. You don't understand. I've dealt with it in my own house. The one I bought down south, the first
Mhm.
one, we had little ones that it wasn't an infestation because we put bombs around and we got to take care of
Uh-huh.
it before it got really bad. But if I go to a parent's house and I see the big ones, I'm walking out. and I'll tell them I'm sorry, but this is my last day. I have a huge phobia. I will start crying if they get even near me.
No, I'm not that bad with those. I'm really not. Bugs in general, spiders, all that, I'm not bad with it. But rodents, that's my line. That's
Spiders is my
my
next
yeah.
one.
And disrespect. I was disrespected when I was first a BCBA. I was very disrespected by a mom once. And then it happened again with another mom, and I won't let it happen again.
I
I'm
was
not.
disrespected by that same caregiver that wanted to do punishment,
Mhm.
and the caregiver was introducing like pretty much that I was too white for the client, and she wanted me to bring out my Hispanic sides, which apparently, Hispanic parents, they will yell at their kids, they will do.
Okay, yeah. Be
Mm-hmm.
stereotypical.
She wanted me to do all that, and if not, I would have to be a ghetto RBT in order for my client to listen to me. It was a bunch of other things too, but I didn't know how to go about it because I didn't, because I would laugh it off like it was joking, but then it wasn't until the new BCBA came in and she's saying a lot of racial slurs. You
Mhm.
realize that I'm like, yeah, but I just laugh it off because I'm here for the kid. I'm not here for her. But then it just got to a point where she wanted me to do the academics for him because he was homeschooled. She wanted me to do all the academics. She didn't want to do it herself. And even when higher up got involved, still
Yeah.
the next day, here's what he has to do for math, language arts, blah, 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 so you could do it with him. So she wasn't listening.
No. So the first parent, she was very disrespectful towards me. I had told her when I was gonna go. I had told her my schedule, and I showed up the day I told her I was gonna go, and she opened the door and said, "You're supposed to call me before showing up at my house. If you don't call me and tell me you're coming, do not come." But she was rude about it, you know?
Okay.
And I just like, okay, but I told you last week I was coming, and I texted the RBT and let her know, hey, I'm on my way. So you knew I was coming. You don't
Mm-hmm.
text the RBT, you call me. If not, don't show up. And I was just like, okay. Then that family, a couple weeks after that, they left out of town, and I was done with that. Then I had a
Okay.
mom, she was rude. She was rude from day one. So when I got on the case, the RBT, I always call the RBT, introduce myself if I'm getting on a case, taking it on from anyone. And this is the same
Mm-hmm.
cases that I took from this BCBA that kind of just dropped everything once she got pregnant. And this RBT tells me that when the client hits his sister in the morning, the mom informs the RBT that it happened, right? And then when the
Mm-hmm.
RBT comes for session at 4 p.m., he hit the sister at 8 a.m. At 4 p.m., the RBT sits down and talks to him about why he hit the sister, and they have a conversation on it, and
Okay.
that's the treatment plan. So is that ABA?
No. You're just
And I
talking and
told
asking him why, telling him what?
I told the RBT, I said, that's not ABA. That's gonna have to change. We have to figure out a way to work on it directly. Like, is there a way can we have a morning session? I don't know what that RBT went and told mom, but when I got to that house, that mom was furious, spoke to me in a horrible tone, told me that I was not allowed to change anything without first having a conversation with her and having permission from her to change it, right? And then a bunch of other things. That RBT left. I trying to pair with this parent. Her previous RBT became a BCABA and left the case. And
Mm-hmm.
I worked with that BCABA. So I got this kiddo BCABA hours and got this BCABA on the case to help on the case. I thought this is going to win me over, get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this BCABA, so I was okay with her on it. and I got her a really good RBT. He was amazing, right? And one morning I'm gonna go supervise the RBT.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows I'm going, and I get there and I call to be let in, and nobody answers. And I call again, nobody lets out. Text the RBT, I call the mom. Then I'm finally let in, and the mom is furious at me. Why do I show
Why?
up at that time? And why did I call? And I said, how was I supposed to get in through the gate? She's like, well, this is not my house, and those calls go to the person who owns the house, and you're disrupting them. And he can come at this time because we registered his car so he can come in, but you can no longer come at this time. And
What
I
the
was
fuck?
like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so when am I supposed to supervise? Right? I actually didn't say anything. I let her rant at me and have her little moment. And then I just started supervising. And then I found out that there was a conflict of interest. There was a conflict of interest, I found out. And I called the office and I'm like, hey, there's a conflict of interest. I can no longer be on the case. And I called mom and I said, I'm very sorry. There's a conflict of interest and I can no longer be on the case. So and so is going to be on the case. And I was out of there. But I don't think I should have taken all of this rudeness and passive aggressiveness
No.
and put downs from this lady every time we freaking met. Every time we met, she was so terrible. And the BCABA on the case, she kept telling me it's that she grew up in blank city and she's ghetto. It's just that it doesn't
That
matter.
doesn't
I've
excuse it.
I've seen clients in the projects, and the parents have been the sweetest people in the world. Never disrespectful. Nothing justifies you being disrespectful to another human being,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But now, and it's been several years, I wouldn't put up with it at all. I would, as soon as they're disrespectful for me, I call the office and I'm off the case. I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to.
Well, that's
The other
because you're
day,
advocating for yourself more now than you did before.
yeah, I'm just, and I had to learn. I had to learn. I don't know, I feel like when we start, we think we have to pay our dues. No, we don't. The other day, BCBA took over a difficult case, and they're like, the mom's kind of rude. The mom, da da da, giving. I'm very open. I'm not going to lie to you about the case. Even if you're an RBT and you're coming in, I'm going to tell you the mom cancels a lot, but this is what
Mm,
we do to make it up. I'm upfront. And the BCBA said, I'm used to it. At this point, being disrespected doesn't even faze me. That's not
that's
normal.
not okay.
That's not okay. No.
If you can't, I don't know, like if you can't deal with your own family members or your friends be disrespectful to you, why would you allow someone else to disrespect you? And I know we all need money. We really do. We gotta work and we gotta get paid. But I don't think like, you need to just deal with the rudeness or
I don't think
parents
so
being
either.
racist or whatever the reason they think is right. We're there to provide a service and to improve their lives, not take all this impact and all this negativity from them because it's just going to drive us away. Just like we try to give your kids a positive environment, we should get the same.
Exactly. I agree. I'm done. And that's one of the reasons I am so happy right now with my treatment, my
Hmm.
clients. I'm really happy with my parents. I have one mom, but she's not disrespectful. She's not, no, I actually kind of like the lady. She's just flaky, right? And it's been
Okay.
almost I want to say it's been 3 weeks or 4 weeks since I seen the kid, because they went away for this and then they went away from that and then the RBT quit and then I got a new RBT and she didn't like the new RBT. And then I got another RBT, but she canceled for A, B, or C. And then she told me she would let me know when we would reschedule, and she didn't. And then I text, literally this morning, I sent her a text and I told myself, if she cancels for this week, my answer is going to be, no problem. Thank you for the update. When you're ready to resume services, please contact the office. And I'm done.
You know what's funny? This new case that I started,
Mhm.
it was surprising that the mom even asked me this, but she said, "Hey, I have a vacation that is coming up. I might be gone for like a week in November. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Of course. Just let us know ahead of time." I obviously also have some events coming up this year, and I will give you a month's notice just because I know more or less what the dates are. But yeah, as long as you communicate with us when, there's going to be a disruption of session, I am perfectly okay with it. You need a break, and so do we. So as
Yeah.
long as we communicate, it's fine.
Communicate and
But she
try to
was
plan some
so
makeup
sweet.
hours. Yeah. Communicate and try to makeup hours.
No, yeah, she already told me about some dates that we might cancel. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, instead of canceling, how about we move session to the afternoon? I can do the afternoon for now. And she was like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you for being flexible. And it's like, no problem. These hours are easier
Thank
to
you for
do.
being kind.
Right? Oh, I love these types of parents. Love it.
It's hard. It's hard.
This is the takeaway from our show. Be kind and flush the toilet before you leave the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poop at home.
You poop out.
I'm a poop at home kind of gal.
Listen, if I can't hold it, I'll poop outside. But it's like it's gotta be one of those, like, if I don't go now, I'm gonna shit myself during the session. So
So, okay. Someone just told me, who was it? Who was it? Oh, one of my RBTs used to work at Home Depot, and she says one time a guy couldn't make it to the bathroom and he pooped, and as he pooped, he ran, so he left a trail.
oh no. I would be like, I don't get paid enough for this.
I
I'm not
would've-
touching that.
Same here. That's the day I quit. Ah, I found my boundary, Home Depot. All right. So awesome. All right. Until next time, be kind, poop at home. And if you, I guess part of being kind is if you plug, let people know.